This is Josh Tikenko with the news of 450 acres of land being returned to the island by the federal government. We wanted to know more about the historic Hila'an village that is part of the land return. So we asked University of Guam's Micronesia Area Research Center Director Dr. John Peterson. He says he is excited for Guam and is impressed Hila'an will be added to Guam's inventory of historic sites.
This is really exciting for Guam. This is about a 25-hectare site, 50-plus acres. And it's relatively pristine because it's hard to get to it. One has to walk at low tide around the point from Tangisan. And the area itself has had a number of latte sets, maybe 18 to 20.
Dr. Peterson says the site was first recorded in 1947 archaeologically by Douglas Osborne and then in the 1960s by Fred Reinman. It was reported as very pristine, and he believes it was possibly occupied as far back as 3,500 years ago.
The area has still mostly been undisturbed because it's very remote. This is really great for preservation, historic preservation on Guam, because it really introduces us to the need to preserve landscapes, cultural landscapes, and with the escarpment behind the cliffs and then the area above the cliffs, which is even much larger in the donation, there's a great opportunity to look at a whole cultural landscape as to how people were living 1,500 years ago, and we think probably even as far as 3,500 years ago.
Peterson also asked UOG President Dr. Robert Underwood what Hila'an meant, but because it is so old, he explains it doesn't have a direct translation. He does mention this settlement was also a Spanish period site up until 1850.
It was a very rich area. You know, people would have had all their foods and gardens around them, red fruit in the trees, spiny yam, taro. There was a pond in the back, a sinkhole with adequate fresh water. So it was a really paradisial spot. It would have been a very, very major settlement, I think, when it was occupied.